Hello everyone, I'm back, and I plan on being back. School's over, summer has started. All I have to do now is worry about finishing my flight lessons. That's my first priority, but I still plan on making videos. So I'd like to give out a shout out to everyone on West Side, or First Floor West Side in Norrin Hall. They bothered me. When are you getting your video done? It's now. You guys are great supporters of this video series podcast. I don't know what I call it, a podcast. Some people might not. But like to thank everyone in this or that lives on West Side. Thank you very much. You guys are great supporters. Had a lot of great memories living on First Floor that I will never forget. But back, this is Aerospace Talks with Mason. I'm Mason. I'm in Grand Forks still, staying frosty. Hope to be in Sioux Falls soon. See all my family and friends in Sioux Falls. For those that are watching, I will be home soon, I promise. So, yeah. Now let's get back to what's going to be happening in this video. Today we're going to be going over some news going around the aviation world. I got 2 stories for you. I'm going to try to keep them short. I don't want this video being over an hour long. I want to shoot less than 30 minutes, but I don't know. It could go a little bit longer. I got a big surprise for you today. So I hope you guys watch the whole thing. It's going to be a great video to watch today. I'm really excited. Trying something new. Hope you guys like it. I'm also going to be talking about how my flights are going. If you don't care about that, then you can just skip that part. I mean, I'd prefer you to watch the whole video, but, if there's one part to skip, it would probably be that part. So, first part of this video is the news stories. The first news story of the day: in LA, an air traffic controller made the mistake in an unusual departure pattern, which led them into a close occurrence with a mountaintop, according to the NTSB. This incident happened on December 16th of 2016. The newest part of the story is the NTSB's findings of this aircraft incident, and that is an air traffic controller accidentally sent a EVA Air Boeing 777 towards a left heading instead of a right heading and put them within hundreds of feet of the mountain peaks. With poor weather conditions, there was reports of wind shear near those mountains, and also 1,000 feet visibility, which is not good, especially in mountain ranges. Wind shear could push them into the mountain ranges and could have caused lots of deaths. That's why the NTSB wanted to investigate this and prevent this from happening again. Now to the next story. It's my first space story, which makes this now officially an Aerospace Talks with Mason episode, because I'm talking about space. Bringing in, planes and, spaceships. Awesome, right? NASA is looking to set up a detection of potentially dangerous near-Earth objects, which is asteroids, meteorites, stuff like that. Bad for, us. Could kill us. That's why it's potentially dangerous. It's working on a dedicated deep space observatory, first proposed more than 12 years ago. This NeoCam is a sensor equipped with infrared optics. This would be launched into Earth/Sun's L1 Lagrange point, a gravitational stable space coordinate about 1 million miles from the Earth and the direction of the Sun. Sounds pretty cool. If you want more about these news stories, I'll tell you where I get my news. That's all I got for you day in news. I'd really just like to sum it up, and if you guys want to look it up yourselves, you can do that if you seem interested in it. If you want to tell me what type of aerospace news you guys are interested in, and maybe some stories that you would like me to cover, I can definitely go and look into it more in depth for you guys. I want this show to be for you. Tell me what you guys think. And, this is just kind of a fun thing I get to do. But I'd like to tell you that I get this news from a great aviation website. It's called aviationweek.com. There's multiple categories that they cover with news in aviation. They got a future of aviation, they got commercial aviation, they got military defense, they got business side of aviation, and they got space. It's just a great website. I recommend you guys to look at it. It's where I get all my news, and I just basically sum up the articles that I read. I have a membership with them, a free membership with them, so I get to read most of the stories. And just wanted you to know this is not an ad read. I just wanted you guys to know where I get my news. I'm not big enough for ads. I don't barely get 100 views on my episodes, but just wanted everyone to know where I get my news from, and to basically go check out aviationweek.com. Now to the surprise. It's an interview with two of my good friends from the university. They're living with me here in my house, or in our house. They're my roommates. They're both aviation majors. It was a great interview, so I would like to take it over to them now so we get more time with the interview. So let's take it over to Jake and Easton. Hello everyone, I'm Mason, and we're doing something a little new here, and it's the first part of the interview. I'd like to introduce you guys to my roommates. Hello, Easton, Jake, no, just kidding, Jake, Easton. They're living with me in my new house, not in Norton Hall anymore. Thank you. But yeah, so Jake is from Plainview, Minnesota, and Chaska, Minnesota? Yeah. Chaska, Minnesota. From Easton, they're both commercial aviation majors. So, yeah. Tell us about yourselves.
Yeah, I come from Plainview, big farm town down there. Grew up on a dairy farm, and then basically from there I got into aviation because my dad used to fly some planes, and we used to go to air shows quite a bit when I was little, so just kind of looked into some good schools for it, and this was the closest one to home, so here I am back to UND.
Yeah, me being from Chaska, Minnesota in the Twin Cities, pretty much got into aviation ever since I was little, and started flying, taking lessons in 2014, and got my private just last summer in 2018, and now I'm here at UND working on my instrument and commercial ratings. And yeah.
Why did you choose UND?
It was a closer school, I guess, from the Twin Cities, and I heard it's like pretty prestigious and stuff, and so I chose it.
So tell me any cool stories about flying that you guys have. It'll probably be a little easier for you to go first since you're the most experienced out of all of us.
All right. Let's see. During my private pilot training on my second solo cross country that I was doing, I went to the first airport. It was fine, and I was making my way towards the second airport that I was landing at, and I checked the weather on the automated weather frequency, and it said the clouds were at 200 feet, and I was like, and it wasn't even forecasted at all or anything, and I was like, so I have to divert back to the airport, but my home airport, and I was slowly making my way to the airport, and I landed, and then I checked the radar once I landed, and there's this line of storms that was slowly catching up to me as I was just landed, and then it started raining, and the clouds were really low, so it was pretty close.
I guess for me, luckily, most of my flying has been fairly uneventful, but I do have one experience when I was trying to get my night cross country done for my private pilot training, and there was reports of icing coming in right before we were taking off. We were supposed to be going to the south, and there was lots of clouds and low clouds to the south. My instructor's kind of like, let's just go see what it's doing. And so we took off, and we're about probably 10 miles out of the airport there, heading south. And the next thing I know, I'm seeing towns on the ground. And then all of a sudden, I can't see them anymore. We're in a cloud, and there's like snow flying past us. And my instructor's like looking at the wings, looking for icing and stuff like that. It was just kind of chaos. He's like, all right, what do we do now? So I had to do an instrument turnaround. And needless to say, we made it back safely, but it was kind of an experience. It was, good experience for what you would actually have to do if you flew through a cloud. It was interesting.
I have a crazy story. When I was doing my practice, I was going on the downwind into one of our east-west runways, and there was a solo coming in, and I really hope this isn't me when I solo, because I'd feel terrible about talking about this. So he was told by ATC to fly westbound outside the downwind, so outside the pattern and everything. So he descends down to the pattern altitude and everything like he can, and he's flying westbound straight at us on the downwind, and I'm like sitting with my instructor, just finished my before landing checklist, and I'm like, is that a plane coming right at us? And he's like, yeah, it is. What are they called? ADSB was like, yep, that's traffic, like 12 o'clock, same altitude, 6 miles away, 5 miles away or something like that. So then ATC tells us to do a left turn, tells us both to do a left turn, and we're like, why don't we do a right turn? Because that's what the FARs tell us to do. So they're like, all right, do a right turn then, and they told us to go right into final, while there was also a plane turning base to final right ahead of us. We were told that we were number 2 to land, and we're just going right behind them. They're going into land. They had a faulty approach, thankfully. We were going to go around no matter what, but they had a faulty approach. So we go, then they were told us to go down and act like we're going to land. We're not going to actually land because we had too much power. We had no flaps. It was basically impossible to land the plane. But they go off, and then we go do our go around, and they tell us to go to the other east-west runway. And I'm like, okay, this one's a really short runway, but okay. And then they set me on there was one time where I had like a 5-mile final that they sent me on for that runway, the really small runway. That was interesting. I had the best glide slope ever, and I had enough time to get on that glide slope. But, and then I did a couple landings on that runway, and then after I think it was my 3rd landing on that runway, we were ready to take off for one more landing. And so I put in the full throttle, getting ready to take off, and then my instructor hears something from ATC, which is not usual. During takeoff, they don't normally talk to you. They're not really supposed to. And so he throttles it down. They're like, repeat for Sue, whatever our tail number was. And they were like, yeah, just taxi off here. We're going to have you switch to 3.5s. We're switching to north and south runways so this solo can get in. And I'm like, that solo is still trying to get in? I feel bad for the kid because, that would be a tough time to go through by yourself. But I really hope this isn't me when I'm soloing. That would be awful experience going from one runway, then having the whole airport switch to 3.5 switch. They probably should have been on 3.5s in the first place. It was kind of weird that we had a pretty strong crosswind that day. So they were like, yeah, we're going to switch to 3.5 so this person has a easier time going in. And we're like, all right, we're just going to abort the takeoff and everything, and we're just going to head back to Charlie ramp, we're done for that. Yeah, it was quite the experience on that flight. Yeah. So, well, what advice do you have to any students that are planning on going into college in general?
Save up, save your money, especially if you're going into aviation. You're going to need it. It's not a cheap occupation, but you won't regret it. Study hard, but also know when to relax too. You got to take some time for yourself. Enjoy college you go through, and you don't immerse yourself in the whole experience, and you won't enjoy it. And it'll be a miserable 4 years. So.
And if you can, wherever you live, try and take college classes while you're in high school, because usually they're free. I took college classes while I was still in high school, and they were all free. Tuition was free and stuff, and I got free credits. And now, like, I don't have to take a lot of classes when I got to college, which saves me money.
All right. Now more on the aviation side? What advice do you have for someone that is trying to get their private pilot's license? You started at 14, right? 15, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have for someone that might be a 14-year-old watching this and thinking about getting his private pilot?
Well, when you're 14 or something, you can fly a lot and just train and have a good time. And then once you start getting towards 16, when you can solo, and 17, when you can get your private, then really read the books. And I spent every single day, I read a little bit in the book that I had every single day and studying. And then it takes a long time, but eventually, after a lot of hard work, you can do it. It's possible.
I guess I don't have a lot to say other than just kind of buckle up. Anyone can do it. You can do it. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's definitely something that most people in aviation have passion for, which makes it a lot easier. So if you just hit the books and really focus up, you can do it. There's gonna be some bumps along the way. It's gonna get stressful at times, but at the end of the day, it should always be fun and you'll enjoy it. It's worth it.
All right. In my videos, I try to tell people what I try to do here for fun at Grand Forks. There's not a lot, to be honest, after hockey season's over.
Yeah.
But one thing I do is hang out with my friends. I hung out with you guys a lot this year. What do you guys, other than hang out with friends and fly planes, do for fun?
There's a frisbee golf course here in Grand Forks, so I like going there. It's free, and you can spend like half an hour to 3 hours there as long as you want, and it's really fun to get into it. And, yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm a frisbee golf, but I'll go with them because usually I'm bored. So it's a good time to learn, I guess. I like rollerblading, obviously, in the wintertime. Hockey's my main hobby in the winter. Something to do, watch hockey games, play hockey. I don't know, I just like doing stuff outdoors in general. Just kind of, rollerblade along the Red River. There's some cool trails there. And just get outside. The Wellness Center is a cool place to go hang out to, play some basketball and just do something active. So.
And when you're home, you like to hang out with your cows, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
All right. Well, thanks, Easton and Jake, for joining me in this interview today. It was a great new experience to have, for sure. Wow, what a great interview, right? I hope you guys liked it. I know I definitely enjoyed it. It was something a little different than what I was, trying to spice some things up. Not the typical what I started with, plane of the week, and I was going to eventually do a pilot of the month. I might throw in a couple of plane of the weeks every once in a while, but never know. I'm just trying to try new things, see how you guys like it. Now to how my flying is going. Well, kind of in a standstill right now. I'm trying to get to my solo. I'm supposed to be today. Well, I mean, I'm recording yesterday, so it's tomorrow. The interview is tomorrow. Yeah, and you'll just, yeah. So when you're watching it, I was supposed to solo today. So hopefully today I will fly. Yeah, the weather yesterday wasn't the greatest, so I don't know. Hopefully today it's looking a lot better, I think. So I hopefully tonight I can do my solo. But anyways, up until then, I passed my first stage check. It was pretty easy. Oral was very easy. Not saying you should, if you do go to University of North Dakota and you do take your private pilot's license course with University of North Dakota, not saying you don't need to study for that first stage check in 102. It's something that I did have to study for, kind of like for 2 or 3 nights before advance. But there's kind of a lot of things that you need to know in that first one, and even more in that second one, and then the third one is, from what I've heard, a lot easier than the second one that you have to take in your final check ride oral. So now I'm starting to study for my Block 25 oral and stuff. I'm on lesson 18, which is the first solo, and it's pretty, stand still. Got to fly with another one of my friends, who is a CFI. It was a really fun time flying with him. I'd recommend, if you do get your private pilot's license, try flying with more than one instructor, so then you get a better experience. You learn a lot. A lot of instructors, everyone teaches differently. So one instructor might teach you one thing in 102 that you wouldn't necessarily learn until your multi-engine, probably not that late, but your single-engine commercial or your instrument rating classes. There's a lot of helpful tools, and every instructor has learned from multiple instructors, so they're trying to get all of their instructors, how they learned all together, what they thought was best. And it's a very helpful tool, is just using your instructors and using multiple. I thought has been a very big thing on helping my flying. I'm flying with a third instructor right now, and I've learned something that I haven't learned yet, and it's helped my flying so much. And I'm not saying that my first instructor's bad. I'm not saying the second instructor that I had was bad. I thought they have all been good instructors. They've all been teaching me good things. It's been a great experience here at UND. We got a lot of great instructors. And yeah, so that's how my flying is going. So I guess it's time to close it up. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you feel like it, go ahead and hit that bell. I think it's down over here by the subscribe button. It will notify you when I post the videos. Also, I will put my Instagram page in the description in the video below. Go give my Instagram a follow. It's Aerospace Talks with Mason. No capitals or spaces, no underscores, nothing. Just straight up Aerospace Talks with Mason. I might even put that at the bottom right here. Might I don't know. Who knows? But go give that a follow. Post any questions that you have. I will post on my story the night before or the week before the video. Hey, ask me some questions, or when I'm bored, ask me some questions. I will answer them on Instagram and on the videos. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.